it was going to be sunny all day.
It was so quick.
It was over so fast.
Nobody was even ready.
Really was an act of God.
Pouring down rain.
It just came down.
Heart-wrenching. The biggest mess I've ever seen in my life.
What's these people supposed to do?
All right, guys, I'm coming in. Well?
This is no longer Jonathan Nazir's favorite place to be.
It was really just starting to kind of get its momentum.
Even though he spent the last 2 years pouring his dreams and his heart into the building.
I almost don't like walking in right now. I'll be honest, we have limited the amount of time that we come here because it's a little, it's heartbreaking.
Mold is the only thing growing at their nonprofit and community farm stand on the south side of Rock Hill. Refrigerators, broken. Community garden beds, empty. And their greenhouse, riddled with holes from hail that tore through it like it was made of tissue paper on April 20th, 2024.
This storm was so strategic in where it hit.
You could see in that storm that was just ice. So much ice.
Meteorologist Steve Wilkinson with the National Weather Service watched that storm roll in from his computer screen at his office in Greer, South Carolina. Their main forecasting tool towers over their small building, a WSR 88D Doppler radar. It's a fancy name for the most advanced form of weather radar.
Things on a storm scale change moment by moment, minute by minute.
Though it can't catch everything.
Tiny little cell with a brief little hook on it for like one scan, a little velocity rotation that was gone.
Like the EF1 tornado that touched down in Claremont, North Carolina on January 9th, 2024. Killing one and injuring 4 others.
We call it Monday morning quarterback. You can always go back and go, oh, there it is. But at the time, it was not obvious.
The tornado moved so fast that radar barely picked it up, and it all happened on the ground.
The point is what's on the ground is what matters.
Ideally, these types of radar are within 70 miles of communities and cities, but the radar in Greer is 90 miles away from the Charlotte metro, which means millions of people fall into a radar gap.
It's always been critical, but it's even more critical the more people you pack into tighter areas.
The way radar works is the further you get away from it, the harder it is to see what happens on the ground. The Earth curves away from the radar beam, creating a gap forecasters can't see, which is where some storms start.
Charlotte is the largest city in the country that's in a weather radar gap. I didn't know that until I was elected to Congress.
North Carolina Congressman Jeff Jackson is hoping to close the gap by pushing for the Weather Act reauthorization bill. The bill would set aside funds to improve radar technology, as well as put Charlotte at the top of the list to get the newest radar whenever it's developed and released.
It would create much more accuracy, much more predictability. The issue, though, is that Doppler radar is kind of obsolete at this point. So this is really about getting Charlotte first in line for the rollout of the next generation.
In May, the bill flew through the House, and Jackson says it looks like it'll pass the Senate. He's hopeful it'll be on the president's desk by the end of summer.
Still got some work to do.
Finally, closing the radar gap.
Right now, we don't have a new roof on, so we're still under tarps. And I mean, I don't think I've looked at the news so much before in my life.
The mold dotting the walls of their store continues to spread. Jonathan knows they need to fix it.
I feel I don't want to let this community down, and I think so many of them have come to depend on us.
While their store sits, the students in their summer program plow on. They're creating a garden in the back.
We had big plans.
Hoping that more than just plants will grow.
We'll press on, not knowing a lot of times how we'll press on.
Before severe weather strikes again.
I just felt a drop.
With photojournalist Jenna Pinto, Maureen Wertz, Queen City News.